Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the beginning of week number 17 in this Road to 200k challenge. Markets open up in a positive way, in a very positive way. Earlier in the day I noticed that this OD was hovering close to $65 and was up about 3%. Now some of those gains have been pulled back, but most of the stocks are not rallying, but are up for the day. And earlier in the day, I tried to have a look and see if there is any options that are worth selling, namely call options. And as far as I could see, even for example here Ford Motor Company, which is up 2%, which is quite a good gain for such a low volatility stock. Even the 3-week call option is not yet available at a reasonable premium, and so we'll have to leave it as it is. With this LOD, of course, we are still waiting for it to recover from the beating it took, basically, when the earnings were released. But for the time being, and looking, for example, for the 3-week call option, you can see that it's not yet close to the $81 mark that we need in order to break even. As you can see right here, the average price that we currently have is $80.38. I would be happy to sell a call on a strike price of 80. That would not be an issue for me, but still, as things stand, no, it's not yet possible. And so, as you can see also here in a 3-week call option, if we look at the probability of profit here of the option for $76, you see that the probability of profit, meaning the probability of this strike not being reached or exceeded, so the price will stay below $76 in 3 weeks time, is around 97%. So it's gonna be a long time probably, but things can change quickly. And yeah, the way things are standing at the moment, we see that even though some analysts downgraded the stock, we see that, for example, Morningstar still has a very rosy perspective on the company. And at this moment, of course, after a 20% plus fall, at least some of that should be recoverable, and so that is why we are waiting for him to bounce back, not in its entirety, not to come back to where it was, but at least to have some recovery so that we can start selling calls on them. And then, of course, if the stock gets close to the price that we want, we just outright sell it and don't think about it anymore. As for Pfizer is recovering a little bit today, but very little from the beating it took last week after the news came out that Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to be in charge of the Department of Health in the Donald Trump administration, the President-elect Donald Trump administration. But of course, this is still insufficient for us to sell calls with a strike price of 28.5. They are not yet available for 1 week. For 3 weeks, it's not yet even be trading, but assuming it will be around 2 or 3 cents, it's not enough for us to sell some calls on it, so we'll have to wait. It's an interesting situation, Pfizer, because even though it took a beating last week and now the price is pretty much below our acquisition price, besides the article that Morningstar published last week, as you can see, the best healthcare stocks to buy, and we can see that Pfizer here, as of November 13, so this is post earnings of Pfizer, it's still one of the most in the top 10 best undervalued healthcare stocks to buy now. And interestingly enough, today Morningstar published another article, or at least I received an email from Morningstar that, of course, this is dated from last Friday, as you can see right here. And among the 5 undervalued stocks that crushed Q3 earnings, the third quarter earnings, so basically the earnings were much better than expected. It's no coincidence that the picture here is about Pfizer, but as you can see also here, Pfizer leads this segment here. And as it mentioned, and I'll put this the link to this article in the description below. And as you can see right here, it is currently trading at a discount of 38%. And basically because, of course, as you can see the revenue, it was 17.7 billion versus an estimate of 14.9. So this is basically about, I would say, about 20-30%, not 30, but 15-20% of above the estimates. And of course, in terms of the earnings per share, this is pretty much 35-40. Actually it's quite more. It's a 70-80% above the consensus estimate. So this is very strong results, and so that is why also Morningstar believes this stock is pretty much undervalued. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But so far, of course, we cannot control the market in the short term, but as long as we are betting for the long term, I'm confident that we'll be just fine. But for the time being, this is it. There is nothing we can do right now. Of course, over the course of the week, I will be watching the market and see if there is any way the stocks, any of these stocks, climb enough for us to start selling some calls on it and start to earning some premiums again. But for the time being, this is all. Feel free to leave your comments in the section down below and your questions as well. You can also DM me on LinkedIn in case you have any particular questions. And feel free to like the video and subscribe, and you will be reconvening at the end of this week to see how things were, and of course I'll see you there.